Hello there, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be my top tips of how to be a successful milsim leader. Now, I can already see the comments of people saying that I'm not a very good milsim leader. Well, that's obviously wrong because if you look at the rest of the videos, you can see that. But I hope this video is really helpful, and I hope it inspires you to become a milsim leader because it is fun. Some people might have their personal opinions on it, saying it's trash or whatever, or it's boring, but it's not. Or at least give it a listen and see if it, just sparks any interest. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first tip. All right, so point number one is you must choose a faction or a unit that you want to go. Now, this is critical because this is what you're going to base your entire milsim around. So, say I've personally chosen the US Armed Forces. From there, you're able to break down into small subdivisions so everyone gets a different type of experience. Within that, I have armored. I have the Army, which is now airborne, and I have the Navy, which consists of the Marines, and then possible actual naval force if that comes to battlefield, as well as the Air Corps for people that like flying planes. So that is a good way to incorporate everything. But if you want to just be one unit, say like, I don't know, the 12th Panzer Division or the 1st Infantry Division or whatever, and focus on one unit, then that is also good. And I would say that is the better thing to do when you're starting out as a new milsim leader. It's the easiest way to do milsim, I would say, personally from my own experience. Now, when choosing your unit, obviously you need to make sure that you know the background of that unit. So then when people come in and ask like what is it, say like the Marine Division, some people might not know what Marines are, so you need to research into that to make sure that you know what it is, and then you don't look stupid when people come in and ask questions and don't know what's going on, because a lot of people that you will get will rather be will most likely be new to milsim. Now with ranks within your milsim as well, they need to be specific to your set faction. So, say British would have a Lance Corporal. The Americans do not. They have Private First Class in the place of that. And the British do not have Private First Class. And then with Germans would be German ranks. If once the Italians come to battlefield, Italian ranks, Russian ranks, and so on and so forth. They need to be subject to the type of unit you are. So, say I don't know, Navy might have different kind of ranks like captain, naval commander, whatever. I don't really know much about the Navy, but yeah, just you need to research the different ranks and the different backstories of your set division that you want to go, division, battalion, whatever, that you are interested in going and representing. Now, my next point is recruitment. Now, this is quite a tricky one. Recruitment is in the first steps of you doing this, going to take a little bit of time. You do need to put patience into this, which is another point I'm going to bring up later. But you do need to be patient with it. People will eventually start seeing you advertising. So with advertising, what I mean by that is what you want to do is once you've chosen your unit and what you want to be, you will then go onto Google or something. I find that the easiest way to do and search up. So say for me, from I'm American, not I'm American, but my what is it? My unit is American. Is search up maybe American US soldiers or whatever. Get a picture of that. Then go to SHAREfactory here, and then make a poster of put your unit's title, and then some requirements that you want to put in, like maybe 16 plus. If you're an adult, you don't want children in your squad, or sorry, milsim. You might put 16 plus or 18 plus. That is your own personal preference for what you want the requirements to be. I've probably put in the UAF poster somewhere that you would have seen an example. But yeah, so that will help you to be able to pull in people that you want specific to your milsim. It's important that you make that. That will be the number one way you're going to bring in recruits. Sorry. But you do need to be patient with it. You will need to be going into the key communities, so say the main battlefield community or any other battlefield communities that will be able to pull in recruits and people seeing that. So far, my experience with recruitment is actually with the communities when they're incredibly active, you actually do get a lot of people messaging you really quickly. So you may be lucky in getting loads of people loads of recruits coming in because currently the communities, sorry, are already active. So you'll be able to get loads of people in, hopefully. As well as that, with your recruits that you bring in, you will want them to go through basic training. Now, basic training can be your own thing. I personally make it realistic to how it would have been, or as realistic as possible within the game. But you can make it your own thing for your own tailored people that you want coming in. So they've gone through that, they've passed all the check boxes, whatever. They've ticked all the boxes. There we go. And you want them in because they are the correct people that you want for your specific unit. So basic training is basically you're kind of testing them and screening them to see if they can actually fit for milsim. They're not going to be trolls. They're not going to be annoying kids or whatever. Whatever you're looking for, they're going to fit that. All right. So this could be with UAF, for example, we do drill, which is what would be done in the military, which would be left face, right face, and about face. Now, it's purposely meant to be boring to see how these people react to this kind of stuff. Because if they find it boring and they just be stupid about it and mess around, then they're obviously not going to be able to handle themselves in operations or actual serious reenactments or whatever other kind of events you are doing. Then shooting to see if they're actually good at the game, shooting targets from a distance. We do short range to medium range. We don't do long range in basic training. Then grenade range to see if they're decent with grenades. And then formations, so basic formations that you might want to include into your milsim. So then you're doing events such as patrols or whatever you're doing, they have these basic fundamental formations set down, so they should know what these are. So our basic formations that we get our guys to learn through basic training is the single file line or column, and then the staggered file or staggered column, I believe it is in America. I don't know. They different kind of terminologies for different countries. But those are the basic ones that we use for our basic training and our recruits, so they know those when they're coming in. Once they pass the basic training, then you need to make a chat with them, so a primary chat, so then you can communicate with all your members, so a PSN chat or Discord, but I'd say a PSN chat is much better for that. So then you can communicate with all your members, set up events a lot easier. I'd also recommend making a second chat, which will be a casual chat where people can speak freely, and then a primary chat, people don't speak a lot in there unless it's really important, so then it limits spam. But other than that, with the recruits, that is really it. Now, moving on to structure. Now, structure is interesting because you need to tailor this also, once again, to your own specific milsim that you are representing. So, not milsim, sorry, division or whatever that you're representing. So, currently, what we are doing is we have it set as it would realistically be for each subdivisions that we have. So, with the airborne, they have their platoons, their platoon commander, their company commander, which are overall commanding the two platoons, telling them where they go, feeding down information from the overall battalion commander or battalion HQ. From there, they can get their mission objectives, training times, whatever for those set areas. Okay. Now, within the platoons, you have your platoon commander, who's an officer, usually a first lieutenant or second lieutenant or lieutenant, British or American terminologies for those two words. And then within those platoons, you'll have maybe 2 to 3 squads each, and within those, there'll be the squad leaders who are leading those squads, which is where it comes down to you really need to be selective of who you give leadership roles of. I would recommend it being not children, squeakers, or anything. I'd recommend them being roughly 16 and over, or if they are younger than that, incredibly mature and not squeakers, because then they'll be able to earn respect a lot quicker if they're not sounding like children and they're not messing around. They need to be mature people that can actually get stuff done, as well as follow orders well. All right. I would usually put people in a squad lead position if they are, say, a corporal and above, but that can change with your set, whatever you've decided to represent, whatever nation or unit you've decided to represent. But structure is important because it will keep your guys organized and it will help in operations. Now, until you can get structure organized, I would say just you personally lead your guys into any fight, and just go from there. But try and work on building up a structure as quickly as possible. But make sure that whoever you're putting in the leadership roles, you trust them and they can get it done. And if they're not good enough, then just put them down and just wait for someone to come along to be able to do the job for you. Okay. The best way to do this and get this laid out so it's there forever, so you can keep going back and referencing it, is maybe Google Documents if you have a laptop, or Samsung on your phone, or whatever, like Google, what is it, Microsoft Presentations, right, on Google, Microsoft Presentation, Microsoft Word, or maybe your notes on your phone, anything like that, anything that you can store down information, or even a book or whatever, I don't know, but just make sure that you can get that down whilst you're doing it, so then you don't forget. Now, this one is quite interesting. A few people might not think that this would be necessary, but it actually is. A lot of milsim actually requires diplomacy and being able to kind of handle politics in a way. It's quite difficult to explain. Milsim is interesting. Let's say that it's a very mixed community with loads of different people and personalities from that have made their own milsims and that are leading their own guys and doing their own things and starting their own agendas within the community. There are some nice people. There are some really dicks, and there are just some neutral people that just are weird and mess around and yeah, pretty weird. If you've heard of Lion's Den, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so with diplomacy, what you want to do is, especially as a new milsim, start off trying to be getting on the good foot with everyone. Even if they are being hostile towards you, sometimes milsims are like that towards smaller milsims because it makes them feel better. But you will want to be getting on the right foot with everyone, even if they're being hostile to you, because then that's establishing your reputation within the community at a high standard. Because you want to be having your reputation up. Because if you have a poor reputation, it's not really going to go well. Trust me, I know. I've learned from my mistakes and tried to build up from that. But if you do have any issues with that, then you can obviously contact me. I'll be helping any small milsim that starts out that do need help. So you know what my PSN name is, or I'll be leaving it in the description anyway. That you can contact me if you want to make a milsim. I'd be more than happy to help you start it up and just generally help you with whatever you need help with. But with diplomacy, as I said, sorry, is you need to start from the right foot with everyone and just try and be nice as possible to everyone. But when it does get into aggressive negotiations, then you do need to be hard. You need to be stern, because then you need to show yourself that you're not going to be pushed around, especially when you're first starting. So when it does get to the point of which trying to be nice to someone who's aggressing towards you is getting, they're not taking any of it, they're not backing down or not being polite or nice, then that's when you have to start being stern back to them. But that does come down to situation. So overall, you're really going to have to, on that, learn from your own experiences and build up from that. But that is all I can really give to you with that. Just know that it is going to be a very big mix of different types of people and personalities, and you're going to have to be able to interact with different people in different ways. But other than that, that is it on diplomacy. Right, now on to patience and perseverance. Now, with patience, as I said, with the recruitment, with patience, you do have to be patient with getting loads of recruits in. It won't instantly take off. All right, that just won't happen. That's unrealistic of thinking about that. It's an unrealistic way of thinking. It won't instantly take off with like 100 members. That won't happen. You just have to be patient, maybe constantly recruit. I'd say focus on recruitment first. Solidly recruit for say 2 to 3 weeks. You'll by then maybe have 8 members, maybe 10. Make sure they are active members. You don't want inactive members that say they join, and then they never come to anything. Then just kick them from their milsim. You don't want inactive members. You want active members that come to things. All right. Obviously, if they can't actually make an event, then speak to them, because that's not really their fault. They can't make it to that event. But with patience, you just got to be patient with building it up. You've got to persevere. Now, with perseverance means I keep going. With perseverance, you've got to keep sticking to it, because the only way you're going to build it up is by actually trying. If you give up, then you haven't actually given it a chance of taking it off the floor, off the ground, whatever, and building it up. So you've got to be patient with it, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. Because don't expect it to instantly just swoosh and then it's huge milsim. That won't happen. That's an unrealistic way of thinking. You just got to keep with it, keep going, and within say a month, maybe you will have a decent amount of members, maybe 20, maybe a little bit more if you've been solidly recruiting. It depends on how much time you have, which is what I'll be coming to next, and how much effort you put into recruitment. Now on to time. Now time is an interesting one. This will be varying from different people, but different people have their different schedules. With time, you need to be able to obviously balance milsim and milsim stuff with IRL stuff. IRL is in real life stuff, so like school, college, work, whatever, or whatever you are balancing it with. You got to make it work for you. So this will come down to recruitment. You got to work in times of which you can recruit, training your guys, operations, which is why I'd say majority try and set your operations at the weekend. That'll probably be the better time, as that's when usually people are most available. Recruitment, try and just do that whenever you have free time and you're not doing anything. Get on them recruit, because that will just give you something to do as well as being more productive within your milsim. But time, you need to tailor it to yourself. That's all I can say. I can't really, give one, stock standard time table for everyone. You need to tailor that to yourself. Now, my last point is very, very simple. Just experiment. Experiment as in, if you get bored of one type of milsim, or you're just interested in doing something new, then just try something else. If you've been a German milsim for say a month, you don't find it fun, you don't like what it is or whatever, then become a British milsim. See if you like being British. If you don't like that, then try and become an American milsim, and just experiment and see what you like and what personally you prefer within a milsim, because that's how you're going to keep it fun for yourself. And as well as that, have fun. Milsim is fun. Obviously, people are going to have their opinions on it. Some people might think it's sad, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're having fun, and if you like it and you enjoy it, then you're winning. That was really cringy, but the point still stands. Just have fun, enjoy yourself, and if it fails, at the end of the day, there's my milsim, and we will most definitely accept you in. But other than that, that is it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this will help you and inspire you in setting up your own milsim. And if you do, then hopefully you'll send me a message so I can help you set it up. Or if not, and you want to be independent, go do it yourself, then that's absolutely fine. But I'm very excited to see who becomes a new milsim leader within the community, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield.